This is on the Smith job, number 55597, installed on 12, 15, and 16 by Hayden. So if you come down the stairs in the basement, we have this furnace room here. Our new furnace will sit 24¼ inches from this wall to this mark right here, and that'll give them 21 inches from here to our furnace to get the furnace out the door, or sorry, get the water heater out the door if they need to change it. The back of our furnace will be 1.5 inches off the back wall. So there is a drain under our furnace. So Lance wants, when you get this out, clean up the drain a little bit. And Lance wants our equipment at least 2 inches off the floor. So all my measurements are measured from this side. So so you can see it's the floor slopes. So 2 inches on this side, but then you may need to add like a 1/4 inch ISO pad. You know, you can cut one in half to make sure your unit starts level, so your furnace is level. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know I measured off this side, not this side. So I made the Unistrat, so it's gonna be 2 inches deep. I just drew the holes there so you knew what it was, but holes will actually be on the facing up, probably. Anyway, I made the Unistrut to go all the way to the wall. So there's 35 inches, I believe. I just made some changes, so. Well, I'm just gonna make them 35. Well, I'll make them 35.5. Actually, I changed that to 35. So these, anyway, I'll make you two, one at the front, one at the back. So this is kind of different. To get the water heater out the door, I had to go smaller than we wanted to. So I went 9 by 30 duct, and then we're just going to tap a filter box in between the duct, the furnace, and the duct. So this duct will be 1.5 inches off the back wall, same as the furnace. I believe that's what I can see. That's what I measured, but you know, who knows if it changes up there. Anyway, and we have a 5-inch wide filter box. So I'll make you some slips. So cut the hole and then just put slips on the filter box and go that route. And then you can seal it, you know, with silicone from the outside. So we have an end cap here on your return, and then on your return I have a cut line right here at the top, but then from here over to 11, and then right here. So 1 inch out on just the left and the front. And then they'll go to 9 by 30. Anyway, so duct supply just shows. And let's go to the next. Oh, so return air. We have this pipe here. So we're going to re-tap that pipe in here So this here will be tight against the sheetrock. So you can just put this in tight and then just dovetail it from the inside. I made this so you can just reach inside here and get this all done and sealed. But on the other side of this wall here, we have this low return air. He wants to add a high return air, 8 by 6, 16 by 8, flat, high, right there. And on this side, low, he wants to add a 14 by 8 flat grill just above the baseboard. To do that, we're just going to use the sheetrock that's there. And I made my duct big enough so it's going to come out 8 inches in front of the supply. So we're going to have 8 inches here. You can just tap the 8-inch pipe here and run 8-inch pipe directly over and tap it into the sheetrock there. That's what piece number 7s are for, and 5 feet of 8-inch pipe. And it'll just be a direct shot. Well, you know what? Well, it will be. You may have to bring it a little bit. Well, let's see, 16's right here. I'm going to give you a 90 because you may have to go under this water heater pipe. Well, you will for sure. You know what, instead of a 90, I'm just going to give you, well, yeah, I'll just give you a 90. You can come over and just offset as needed, because it's going to be close, but it's definitely going to, either that or, sorry, thinking out loud, I can make this piece longer. Well, no, because, yeah. No, because your coil ends right there. So that's where it is. I'll give you 90. You make an offset out of it. Anyway, that's that. So, combustion air is okay. It's right there. So this pipe comes up and it goes about 36 to 40 inches back, and then goes up and then out the back. And we are going to replace the grill out there with a new 10 by 10 aluminum grill with screen. So our vent, we're going to run 2-inch PVC through that combustion air. I tried measuring it out. It looked like I took a picture of this joist base in front of, behind the furnace, and I measured it out and it said right on the verge of the porch, so I was hoping that would work. But anyway, the homeowner's on a call right now, so I can't go over this with him, but I will make sure I let him know before I leave. But we're going to have to cut the sheetrock out. So combustion air comes over here, and then it goes down here somewhere. And you measure from that window exactly. This is his office. But we're going to have to cut the sheetrock. So down there, and then it 90s up and out, Lance said. So unless he was talking about right here in the bathroom. And you know what? I bet that's what he was talking about. That is, right here in the bathroom. You probably have to cut the sheetrock out under here. To get above the 90s. But when you cut the sheetrock out, look before you ruin the combustion air grill if we can get our pipes in the bay right behind the furnace, because you'll be able to see in here once you know, I doubt we can because it's like right there, but it would be close. Anyway, but yeah, this is what he was talking about. And make sure your flues come out high at the combustion air. So Lance has on the scope specifics how to vent it out, but he wants to 2-pipe it out the combustion air because we still need combustion air for the water heater. He has on the scope specifically how to vent it, come out with the combustion air down. He has a 90 up and a 90 out for the supply, but if you need, you know, if you bring your pipe a foot past the combustion air, then we are up to code, and that's what the 2-pipe vents on a furnace call for anyway. So that's what I would do, but Lance specifies it, so do it the way Lance says, but you may want to question him on the actual termination when you know. I am giving you a flat termination just in case you can come out a different one of these. But if you use a flat termination, we have to be 1 foot away from the door and 1 foot away from the combustion air with our termination. Anyway, okay. So the gas. So from the caulk, you're going to add a 2T with a 2-inch strip leg, and I think that'll fit, but if you need to kink it a little bit so the drip leg will fit, go ahead. And then I give you a 6-inch on top of the T, then a flex. Kind of drew this weird flex into a 90, 12, and close into the gas valve. Heat pump. So you're going to flush the, it's 3/4 inch line set. I'm going to give you 12 feet of 3/4 Rubitex. Replace as much as you can. I'm going to give you a new big pad. I can't tell if that's concrete under the existing, but put down a plastic pad on top of it if it is. I wrote, don't block the disconnect. I'm waiting for the customer to get off a phone, but I'll show you out there what I'm thinking. Reuse the existing disconnect. The existing 30-amp breaker, which is in this room in front of the furnace, is okay. Lance has the controls and stuff to work with the Prestige for the low voltage. Drain to the floor, standard order. Power, you're going to reuse box switch and cover. I'll give you 2 box connectors. Thermostat, going to put on the Honeywell Prestige. So return air, I went over that already. So I'm going to pause this and we'll walk outside. So I'm out in the backyard, which is where this grill is. So we're going to replace this 10x10 grill. And all your ordered just a new screen for it as well. But if you go 40 inches in front of the center of this grill, we are right here. So depending on what you run into, this may be the back of the furnace, but I can't get in this room right now to be able to measure exactly, but from measuring the pipe, that's kind of what it seems. But everything else is return air up there other than that back one. And we can't come out under the porch, you know. Okay, so I'm going to pause it again. The AC is on the front east side. Okay, so here's the AC. You can see the disconnect here. So we're going to set the furnace on a new pad here. And so we need to move the AC over, which will consist of cutting out some of this landscaping, because our unit's 40 inches, so we go 40 inches from there. We'll be cutting out about a foot, so removing these rocks and moving them over about a foot. And if we have 3 feet walking clearance this way, pretty much the same thing. And I think we're going to have to move this either way, unless he wants to just put a box here and move the disconnect. So I'll give him those 2 options. If you have an electrician come here, then that means that he wanted to go with the box. Otherwise, I'm going to ask him if he will dig this out for you. And go over placement with him. You know, I'm not sure if he wants it going to be long ways this way or this way. It just depends on what he wants. I think if it were me, I'd probably do it long ways this way, but anyway, that's that.